Alright you guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over Magnezone. Now Magnezone just is getting a little bit of an update. If you forgot what it looked like before, here's the list. It's not anything super special, the changes that we made. I think the only thing that we changed is kind of a shift in mentality. The two ways that this Magnezone list got dropped from #1 seed and honestly like top tier is the fact that it's too reliant on EX Pokemon and it doesn't have Porygon Z. So I think the way that we're building it now kind of alleviates both of those issues. The Porygon Z thing is one thing where it's like, this deck doesn't have a lot of late game insurance because Porygon Z in the late game is absolutely positively busted. So the only thing we did to correct that issue is added in a Delinquent and an Ace Trainer. So basically what you're going to try to do is Delinquent, Ace Trainer, and Lightning Crash their Claydol and kind of hope they draw dead off of that. Outside of that, this deck does not have that late game insurance. But if you notice really quickly, the other thing that we did to alleviate the issues of this deck was, this is entirely too EX heavy. There's a lot of EXs. So we added a lot of non-EXs along with the new Magnezone that accelerates metal energies instead of lightning energies. So wow, oh boy, I can't talk. It did give access to Cobalion and Registeel, two great non-EX attackers, and it also did give us access to this Heatran from Ultra Prism. Now, it does say here that it is Holo Rare, and I want to believe that it is Holo Rare, but the one that I got from pre-release was non-Holo, and I don't know if that's just like a promo thing, or, I don't see, like, staff, one of the pre-release, first release, card origin, it doesn't say anything about that. So I really don't know if it is holo rare or not. This might just be an issue. I can't tell. If it's non-holo, play the crap out of this card. If it's holo, I still think you play it for that 130 burst attack, I suppose. But we are playing a 4-3-3 Magnezone line. Holy crap. The reason we thinned it up is for a little bit extra space because we are playing 2-1-1 lines. We decided to keep the Zebstrika. Lightning Crash is not so much of a focus. It's more about disconnect. You're going to be able to attach a lightning energy from your hand and then a metal energy so you can still disconnect. If you want to, you can turbo arm to Zebstrika by accelerating a lightning energy, and then the next turn you could lightning crash if that's what you wanted to go. But we really didn't see that much of an issue. But the big thing that we added here is the Excadrill, and that is it is a holo rare, so you're not alleviating the holo rare thing. But this does, if you play it correctly, it will give you that 2-price swing. 50 damage doesn't seem like a lot, but if you touch a Muscle Band and then Iris, you're swinging for big amounts. So let's say you've taken, like, I don't know, your opponent's taken 3 prizes, and you touch a Muscle Band. Now Maca's doing 100 damage twice. So if you play it correctly, you're almost always going to be taking 2 prizes. Let's say you're playing against something like Stage 1 Rush or Jumpluff that doesn't have a lot of big HP Pokemon. You're going to take 2 prizes guaranteed with this. Sometimes even 3, maybe even 4 if you're really good about it. Or if your opponent's just an idiot, who knows. But Maca's going to be able to take multiple prizes with the Omega Barrage attack. So, like I said, I wanted to touch more on late game insurance here. You really only have the Ace Trainer Delinquent combo there. It's going to really suck, and Lightning Crashing their Claydol. It's going to really suck if they have a Mr. Mime in play. So what you could consider playing is a Silent Lab, so you can shut off their Mr. Mime that way instead of having to burn your goop to do such a thing in the late game. Like, odds are you've probably already used your goop if it is late game, so Silent Lab might be a good inclusion here. It does give you a 3rd stadium. Right now we're playing Broken Time Space and Mount Coronet, if you saw that in the tabs. We're also playing Cynthia here, if you're curious about why this didn't add up to 100. We're playing 2 Magnemites from the new set, the Magnezone, the Heatran, the Cynthia, and the Mount Coronet from the new set. A lot of new set stuff. So anyways, Silent Lab will give you that third stadium, so that Delinquent's being a little bit more efficient, and that sort of thing there. So, and then the only other thing that I would consider playing is something like a counter energy here, and that's so you could charge up Cobalion under Hex Lock. You could just slap the thing on there if you're losing. And it also gives you a better out to Lightning Crash during that late game, like I was talking about. But those 2 things were all like late game related. The counter energy, the Silent Lab, those are all more oriented towards the late game, which this deck does seem to struggle with. But outside of that, this deck I think is pretty solid. Not a lot's changed. It's really just a shift in mentality from Lightning to Metal and from EX to non-EX. It's just trying to make this deck a little bit better because it did fall from grace fairly hard. I think we overrated this deck. We definitely shouldn't have given it the #1 seed and in our tournament that we did, and I don't know if it's even deserving of top 10 these days, but maybe this switch to Metal will help this deck function just a little bit better. So, but that about does it. There's nothing too new to, like I said, nothing really too new with this deck. It's just the Metal switch. So, if you have any questions, please let us know. We'd love to answer all your questions. That's like what we're here for. So, I'm gonna go to bed now. Got a long week ahead of me. I hope you guys have a great week ahead of you, and hopefully we'll have another video out tomorrow. I mean, hey, why not, right? 4 days, 4 videos. Let's do it. Have a good night, guys.